stop sharing for a moment, hop back into the chat. I see Mara has a question. Mara says, maybe off topic, but folks are talking a lot. Can these videos be used by the prosecution? Well, Mara, that depends on who you're referring to when you say folks. Now, by folks, do you mean supporters of Michael Nowak? Or do you mean people who are pretty much insinuating that he's guilty of what he's being accused of? Which side are you referring to? Because if you are referring to the side of people who are saying that Michael Nowak is guilty of this, yes, those videos could potentially be used in court. I viewed some of them, and what I have viewed is people who have pictures, videos of Michael Nowak allegedly hanging out with minors who are not his children. Yes, that could be used by the prosecution. Absolutely. Yeah, and Lisa says, can Michael's videos be used? He is talking a lot too. Well, you know, I have to admit, I was sent Michael Nowak's video where he supposedly addresses these allegations, and I started watching it, and it was just, I couldn't get through more than a minute of it, and that's the truth. It just really did not seem relevant at all to me. And if in fact he were to say anything at all, because truth be told, if I were his attorney, I would tell him not to say anything at all. But the fact that he came online and said he was going to address it, and then the first minute that I saw was just random euphemisms like the rabbit's got the gun and trying to take me down. And I'm like, you're not Martin Luther King Jr. I don't know what we're saying here, but no. So I didn't last more than a minute. I couldn't watch it. But if in fact he said something that was a valid defense, please let me know. I would love to hear it. Hello, Flawless Beauty. You mean you can't wait for 7 o'clock, Flawless Beauty? I have the live with Diva Divine Light at 7, everyone, if you're interested in following the R. Kelly trial. So any questions about Michael Nowak's accusations, any of his charges? If not, we're going to have a conversation about what could come up in discovery, what could become of this case, and whether or not some of his compatriots, such as Sonetter, could be implicated in any of this. Let me see, your transcript says being in the Rolls Royce wasn't a good idea. Oh, that's what listen, that just goes to show you how much attention I paid, because I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that he was in, a fancy vehicle. I was just listening and thinking, I've heard nothing relevant to the accusations here. This was a bad idea. You should just not say anything. Hello, I am a queen. All right, so I don't see any questions, so let's dive into it. Now, there will be, if in fact this case continues, there will be discovery. The prosecution is going to try their hardest to get into Michael Nowak's past behavior. Because as we've discussed extensively on this channel, when someone is being accused of these types of crimes, their past behavior can be discussed if the prosecution can establish what? A pattern of behavior. So any prosecutor is going to say to themselves, I want a super strong case. I want a rock solid case. And how do I get that? I get that by getting access to things he's done in the past. So they are going to dig into his past and see if they can prove that he has a pattern of this behavior. And then they will say, well, Judge, it's a pattern. It's modus operandi. So now we should be able to discuss the things that he has done in the past. And once they start digging into his past, now you have people like Sonetter being implicated. So what I've also seen circulating online is a video in which Sonetter refers to Michael Nowak's relation with one of his distant family members. And he insinuates that Michael Nowak had an inappropriate relationship with this minor. Now, if in fact Sonetter knew this information, right, and he decided not to do anything with this information, he can be held criminally responsible for that. Not only can he be held civilly responsible, if for some reason one of these victims decided to sue, right? But he can be held criminally responsible for knowing that a minor was being abused in an intimate manner and not reporting it, making some random video where he sort of kind of insinuates it, but still really taking no efforts to report it to law enforcement. That could be something that he could be in trouble for, right? And then you have also the fact that when you're talking about this type of alleged behavior, the type of behavior alleged here, the file behavior, it is a psychological, some people call it a disorder, some people just call it a condition. But it is psychological, it is chronic, and it is recurring. What does that mean? That means that someone who truly exhibits this behavior, it is not new. So if in fact Michael Nowak is guilty of these allegations, this behavior is not new. He has been doing these things, if he did them and if he does them, for years. How many years have you known this man? How close were you? Because he seems to insinuate online that they're very close. Were you not aware of these allegations, of these things that he was allegedly doing? Did you not report them because perhaps you were involved?